Today we are making a one-pan wonder of chicken and rice. It's packed full of flavour, most of the ingredients you'll either have in the cupboard or are easy to come by, and it's an absolute winner of a weeknight meal. So let's get into one-pan chicken and rice. Today at Dishes with Del, we are back to a recipe because I thought, you know what, it's been too long since we've had a nice nibble to eat at the end of the episode. So today we are making chicken and rice, except we are making kind of peri-peri, Mediterranean vibes, deliciousness. As you can see here, not that many ingredients. Chicken, yes, you'd have to buy, but rice you probably have. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, you may well have a can. I've got some rosemary and oregano here. Again, you might even have some dried stuff in the cupboard. Then it's onions, garlic, dried chilies, smoked paprika, a bit of wine if you got it. And for this, I will be using red peppers. But sometimes a little bit more economic to buy them in a jar, already peeled, than it is to buy them fresh, which seems completely bonkers to me because think of all the processes that go into making this happen instead of it buying fresh. But you often get better bang for your buck. So it's a great way to keep the cost low and make a delicious dinner while we save some pennies. Also, if you're new around here, I'm Del. I've been a professional chef for over 20 years, probably nearly 25. Ish. But now I help home cooks make easy, delicious recipes, cut down on your kitchen waste, give you hints and tips and really amazing things that you can do with all your leftovers, and all while hopefully saving you a little bit of dollar. Whether you know it or not, you're going to be brushing up on your flavour combos, your kitchen skills, and ways to impress your family. So let's get into this chicken and rice dish so we can get it cooking, and I'm going to show you how simple it really is to make. The very first thing we're going to do is clear away the stuff I left here. Classic. I mean, I know it's so silly, but you know, it's the sort of thing that I like to make sure that there's nothing in the background apart from maybe an appliance that I need, which is my trusty air fryer. And also, if you're looking for some great air fryer recipes, I've got loads of them. Either go watch a whole bunch of these videos or head to my website where I've got an amazing air fryer cookbook. In fact, there's two parts of it now, Will It Air Fry 1 and Will It Air Fry 2, and each one will cost you less than a cup of coffee, so you should head there. The link is in the description box down below. Now let me just get this tidied up and we'll marinate the kitchen. Marinate the kitchen, marinate the chicken. This really is all going to come together very quick, so even though it won't be for very long, it's still nice to give your chicken a little bit of extra flavour. I've got some chicken drumsticks here, but chicken thighs would also work wonderfully for this because they're juicy and just, you know, they're not going to dry out and you're going to end up with a way nicer result. So we'll get these marinated first and then we'll move on to the sauce. So what you want to do for this chicken, whap it in a bowl, chop up your fresh oregano, rosemary, salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil over these, and we're going to grate in 2 garlic cloves. Give it all a stir and pop it to one side. And as I said before, if you didn't have fresh rosemary or oregano, you can just use dried. And I'm also going to add in here just a little tiny sprinkle, probably about half a teaspoon of some smoked paprika. Now that's all done, we can move on to the sauce. As I said for the sauce, we're kind of going peri-peri, little bit, and kind of Mediterranean vibes. So what I'm going to do is take 2 dried chilies, I'm going to pop them into a cup, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of hot water over them to let them soften up a little bit. Then we'll get all the other bits ready to go. The one nice thing about winter in New Zealand is my kettle can live on top of the fire, meaning I've always got hot water for tea and stuff like this. So while they soak for a minute, I'm just going to cut this onion into 4, pop it in the bowl. And you know what, if you're looking for another great way to save some money, I often will compost these, or if you keep them and dry them out, you can make amazing onion salt. I actually made a video on it. It's called like pantry staples from essentially rubbish in your kitchen, but it's a really great way to make something from stuff that you already have. So in they go. And now I know that these have already been roasted, but we're just going to give them a little bit of extra loving because even though they have already been roasted doesn't mean they've got the flavours that we want in them. So we're going to take 2 of them, nice and big, pop them in there too. 2 garlic cloves, another little half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a good glug of olive oil, salt and pepper, and then a little bit more oregano, and then them chilies, which have just plumped up a little bit, tear them in half, and that's that bit done. Now we need to just roast this, and I'm gonna use the air fryer, as I said before. You could even just do it in a pan and char it off, and I know that maybe it seems like a little bit of an extra step to something that should be nice and quick, but this is gonna make an amazing sauce that is gonna inhibit so much flavor into the bottom of our rice that it is 100% worth it if you've got the time. I mean, it only took me a few minutes to do this, and then the air fryer is gonna do the most of it. We just wanna get essentially a bit more char onto these things. So that's gonna go in, and then we're just gonna get everything chopped ready for the base and sear off the chicken. Okay, the sauce base all nicely roasted, as you can see there. So what we need to do with this is make it into our liquid that we're gonna add to our rice. So I'm gonna chuck it into a little container. We're gonna add in half of our hot chicken stock that we are gonna cook our rice with, and then gently give it a blend. And that's it, a spicy peri-peri base. Oh, it's a little bit hot. A little bit spicy, smoked paprika-y, but not too much by the time it's all been diluted by the other stuff. We just need to season it a little bit, make sure that it's good to go for when we make the base. You know, this is the sort of thing that someone might usually buy in a jar, but you absolutely don't need to. It's simple to make at home and will give this the ultimate little flavor punch. All we need to do now is get this cooked, and then it can just tick away on the stove. All in all, it's probably 45 minutes to make this dish, and I know that seems like quite a lot, but 25 to 30 minutes of that is gonna be it sat on the stove. So without further ado, let's get this made. When you've taken out your chicken, don't wash out the pan. We're just gonna add in our onions and garlic, and we're gonna add some olive oil, and we're gonna soften that all up. We're gonna add in a tablespoon of tomato paste, cook that out for a few minutes, and then we're gonna add in a little bit of white wine. Not necessary, but I had it in the fridge, so why not use it up? Let that all cook out and the wine evaporate. So I'm gonna add 300 grams of rice, then we'll add in the tomatoes to about 900 mils of sauce. That's the peri-peri sauce topped up with chicken stock, altogether just under a litre. Then sit your chicken on top, turn the flame down low, pop on a lid and let this beauty cook. If you're not necessarily that confident in the kitchen and cooking chicken maybe scares you a little bit, get yourself a probe. These are great. It's an excellent way to be able to check whether your chicken is cooked. God, that felt like a real mouthful. But pop it in, just so long as it's above 72 degrees, you'll be fine. So once it's come up to the boil and has cooked on that low heat for about 20 minutes, all that flavour has been absorbed into the rice, we're gonna keep the lid on, turn it off and let it sit for another 15. So all up, that dish with the lid on is gonna take 35 minutes. Like I said in the beginning, 45 minutes from start to end. So it's still great for a weeknight, and plus there is gonna be so much left over, you'll have plenty for your lunch. I'm gonna turn it off, let it sit, and then we can eat. And it's done. It's had its 15 minutes of resting, and I'm just gonna chop up a little bit more oregano. Oh, for that little bit of freshness all over the top. If you could smell this, oh, yum. I actually can't wait to eat it. Standard. If you are new around here, I love food. I always have loved food ever since I was a little kid, and I love nothing more than being able to share recipes with you guys and eat delicious things. So, without further ado, let's get some of this on the plate. Oh, just lovely. You know, so many of these chicken rice dishes kind of end up being quite dry by the end because I just don't think they really put enough liquid in or juice in them. And as you can see, this, oh my God, so juicy. Yum. And that is it. Let's give it a little taste. The rice is soft and succulent. Them olives are obviously delicious. A little bit of spice from them chilies. And that chicken is so soft. This really is a great, easy meal to make. Packed to the brim with flavour, and an absolute winner, chicken dinner. That is absolutely delicious. But that is everything for today. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on another amazing recipe coming out of the Dishes with Del kitchen. If you want more recipes, make sure you head to my website. And if you've enjoyed this or have got your own family favourite way to make chicken and rice, drop it in the comments section down below. I always love to hear from everyone, and we're really starting to build a beautiful little community here at Dishes with Del. That's it for today. Make sure you go make this banging chicken rice dinner. If you want the recipe, it's on my website. But for now, One last thing, make sure you do use legs or thighs, because that little bit extra chicken juice and little bit of fat that comes out of them makes this all the better. Oh, yum. Okay, that really is it. I'll see you guys later, and make sure you give this one a make because it's bloody banging. Ciao for now.